Triple H. What do you think so
All
far,
about the
man?
game and how
Well,
you
he's
play
certainly
it.
playing. He's certainly playing it. I must say, the Tony Khan thing again. WWE does what's best for business, and Tony Khan does what's best for Tony Khan. And it's showing, and it's pissing me off because I feel like AEW is, oh yeah, it has been, but it's in my mind, it's even more. It's becoming more of like just like a little playpen, of a toddler, and this style of wrestling that some people like, but obviously is not going to be enough for the company going forward. Even though, like, anytime you hear, and I know you want to talk about Triple H, and here I'm talking about Tony Khan, but every time you so what I've been listening to some interviews from Tony Khan, and he seems to kind of keep fitting in that they sold out the Wembley Stadium, and that is absolutely true. It's not like Wembley gets a lot of action anyway, so it's going to be a little easier to sell out Wembley, but regardless, that was an achievement. Granted, Punk was still in their roster.
Mhm.
However, like when you pad your um, resume, when you make things sound a lot better, or you keep repeating things, like you did one great thing and then you just like keep repeating it for months, for it's like, oh, well, the first thing I ever did was the greatest thing, and you just keep doing that. He keeps doing that on the interviews. He just keeps reminding people what his company's doing, and it's like, if you keep trying to, let us know how great you're doing. Are you really doing great?
What's
You
your
could,
next? What's the next thing?
well, yeah, well, I mean, that's obvious. But like, I want AEW to do well. Like, for instance, I don't think that MJF should be going to WWE within, I mean, at least not anytime soon. Obviously, he has a contract with AEW. I don't know if that's 2 more years or a year. Uh, I don't know exactly how long his contract is, but I feel like he can be on the top in AEW, and he's not going to get drowned by a danger that I feel WWE is sort of facing, which is getting a lot. I mean, Triple H is just he is WWE was already stacked, you know, but now it's getting stacked with even more talent with CM Punk getting in. Uh, if you bring MJF in, oof, you know what I mean? That would be too much. WWE, like, I mean, they're having a problem of too much good talent right now. What do you think?
Mm. Well, I think it's always good to because there's probably going to be more people going out because contracts are coming up on both sides. Um, it's always a yearly thing. It's not like everyone all has the same. Everyone's just contract expires at the same time. Like they've all signed different deals, so usually contracts will end in January of the year. So there's going to be some contract. Like there's still some. Um, there's going to be people gone. So it's like you got to kind of plan ahead of bringing in new people to so that when people do leave, you're not in a struggle right away. It's like you want to try and make that transition as smooth as possible. Now, bring in big name, big name, big name. That's where I mean that's exactly what AEW did, 2 years ago. Um, and it's something
But
that we
did
haven't seen WWE do.
sign
Go on.
people like Big Show and Ric Flair and Sting?
Hold on. Cutting in and out.
I said sign
I
people
don't know
like.
if it's me.
Well, it sounds like I'm recording just fine, so I'm gonna say it. Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
Um, they are signing people like Big Show, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Sting, yeah, Ric Flair, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Edge, yeah,
Mark. No.
Christian,
Mark
yeah,
Henry.
Mark Henry,
It's
yeah,
then you go on Cesaro,
yeah,
Andrade,
yeah,
Aleister Black,
yeah,
Buddy Murphy,
yeah,
Soraya, Tony Storm. Uh, wow, I mean, you go up and down. There's so many, just freaking Keith Lee, Swerve. Although Swerve is turning into something really good, so that's good for him. Um, but yeah, but like they just loaded up on so many people at one time, and they just wiped away what they had already been building. But the thing is the people that they were already building that they just covered, they were still going to be there. It's not like they were bringing in people to eventually replace people because they're not going to resign or anything like that. No, you still have these people for years and years, maybe longer than what you just signed these new people to. Adam Cole. Um, it's just names are going to keep popping up. But
yeah.
with WWE, it's just a whole new. Triple H has turned it into a whole new game of
Yes.
he's getting people he's getting people on like all different levels. Like you're getting people he's bringing in new people for NXT, new people for main roster right away. Um, I mean, it's just he's recently it's come to the surface maybe that he does have like a little bit of a vendetta against being portrayed as the company where Mexican and Japanese wrestlers cannot succeed. He doesn't believe that to be true. And he's like kind of making it a point to showcase the his luchador Mexican wrestlers as much as he can with, you know, Ray. I mean, you put Dom in there, I guess, but not really because whatever. But Ray, Santos Escobar, Dragon Lee, he's pushed Dragon Lee decently fast so that he can get him in the mixes of Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar. They're doing all that. Um, Bringing in Kyrie Sane to join with Io Sky, um, getting Asuka involved in that now. Now you're having like this Japanese um, little kind of push, showing that it can work. Giving Shinsuke a push, which I feel like it would be really cool if like he were to be able to take advantage of Punk being there now, distracting Rollins, and somehow get the belt off him so that Shinsuke has the belt and build Shinsuke with the title. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not really looking for any opinion on that. That's just a thought because I just push Shinsuke because there is Japanese talent in the near future that WWE is interested in bringing over. And I think a reason for pushing Shinsuke and showing that, yeah, they can. There's like success with Japanese talent, Mexican talent, like and bringing in more like a more variety of wrestling styles and a more mix of talent. That is like Triple H is just, he's slowly but surely changing the game. Even before the pandemic, where him and Shawn Michaels were they were going to be putting NXTs all over the country. NXT Japan, NXT um, UK, NXT India. Like there's just gonna be NXTs all over the country. Like even that right away. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like on a distant back burner now, but it wasn't at one point. And just that mindset alone, that's bringing in a whole bunch of different talent and different styles of wrestling and stuff like that. So he has that mindset. Um, and I think now that TKO and Endeavor have pretty much just given Triple H the reins, and he mentioned this in his press conference last night after War Games, is like they didn't know he was bringing Punk back. Like they weren't pushing for him to bring Punk back. They had no influence on it. He's like, in fact, they're probably all watching, probably watched War Games last night or tonight, and when Punk came out, they're probably like, "Holy shit!" Like they had no idea. So like they've and the person that asked the question was like, "Yeah, like he asked that question the way he did because there hasn't been any like really just like a discussion of how it's been working with one another and like the relationship between um, Endeavor and WWE and like whatever, like their relationship together and like who's pushing, like are they on the same level or like whatever. But Triple H has pretty much said that they're putting 100% trust in me and uh I don't know, Nick Khan, putting all the trust in me and Nick Khan to produce the best product, and they're letting us do pretty much whatever we want to do.
It's like a
And
coach in
like
the
with
NFL.
that, yeah, yeah, it's like as long as you trust the guy, and like, I mean, I don't know, it just gives him more ability to do what he wants to do, and obviously that's great. And I think he's slowly just he's made WWE like this malleable figure, and now he's just shaping it into something that we haven't seen. I mean, sure it's not gonna feel like complete different, but if we were to at some point we're gonna be like we could take a look back when he started and say 5 maybe 10 years later, you're gonna be able to see a vastly difference between what WWE is and what it will be, but potentially. And I think there's a good chance of that happening. Um, yeah,
It's a different era, obviously, for WWE. I think I like this Triple H the best. All throughout the Attitude Era, all throughout everything. I think this Triple H is by far the best. Is so far it seems like he's not just the right man, he is the man for the job.
right,
I think,
right,
you look at the roster right now. So for me, there's a lot of really good wrestlers on the WWE roster, and we talked about it. It's like, like the storylines were like they seem, especially like the last, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years of Vince McMahon being in charge, WWE got stale. and got stale because it just kept putting people, it's like, and you heard this throughout the interviews with different wrestlers. You you're kind of asked to be this character, and you're asked basically what they demand out of the wrestlers is to be an actor, or actress. And this is how it's gonna go, and you're gonna act this. Just looking at Shayna Baszler, trying to force Shayna Baszler, or most of them felt like they were forced, and you can't when they can't sell it like actors can, it becomes very hokey and it's not very interesting. What Triple H seems to have done is not only give people a chance to kind of shine in their own light a little bit. It's like, what do you have? Like, I do you think LA Knight would have been anything without Triple H giving him a chance to go back to being LA Knight?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
He probably wouldn't
yeah,
even be there, right? He probably would. He probably wouldn't be there right now.
that's right. And it's not just LA Knight, of course. You have Jimmy
Right.
Uso's coming, or Jay is coming into his own. Jimmy is too. Jay's definitely coming into his own. You have Roman Reigns, which, that was built before Triple H. You have LA Knight. You have Seth Rollins. Say what you will. Seth Rollins still a top fucking. Say what I will, what I should, because I'm not a fan. But what's happening with CM Punk is so legit. But it's just, what I'm trying to get at is that they have a lot of good wrestlers, and he's building up uh, wrestling that I want to go back and actually watch. Like, I'm excited for Monday Night Raw. The last time I was excited for Monday Night Raw was probably, in the early 2000s. Really excited, legit. Like, oh shit, I want to see what happens. There's been a few times where I was excited for Monday Night Raw. I was really excited when Bray Wyatt made a comeback, but that was he was on
Right.
SmackDown, I believe. So The Rock, when The Rock showed up, that was SmackDown. Uh, those moments were not too many for somebody who was a casual fan. Like, listen, I love wrestling. As far as watching, I casually watch it. I just keep reiterating that. I know you know that. Um, to bring in a casual fan, I mean, it's like shit. Like, I want to see what happens with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So what I'm trying to get at, long story short here, which has already been long, storylines, stories, legit feuds between wrestlers,
Yeah.
things that you're like, oh, dude, I want to see this, or you put a doubt in my mind, and I need to see what happens. You know, uh, that seems to have risen. I don't want to say exponentially, but it's definitely growing. So let's just say exponentially. Let's give it. But it's
Oh
rising.
yeah.
It's rising really
Yeah.
fast, man.
Sure.
And it's very entertaining. It's very interesting. And even if I don't catch it, like if I don't catch the pay-per-view, I'm still going like, I need to find out what happened. And then I watch whatever, like I'm okay. You can spoil shit for me. I don't give a shit. I'll still watch it if I wanted to. So Triple H has done. I think Triple H is doing fantastically well, and I think he's brought so much talent that like the top of the card, like the top tier talent in WWE, man, is fucking tremendous. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and the mid card is
It's
starting to
like,
get built out. And
yeah,
the women
for
have been
sure.
great. But I think for the longest time I've been saying that women's wrestling was way better than men's wrestling. And that was because, they might have been a little more limited into what they could do physically. And this is not a knock on women. What that did, as far as I can tell, is that it made their matches a little rougher, you know? And plus, you have Charlotte Flair, who
Yep.
I still think is the best, even though, not it's not the same. Rhea Ripley, ugh, I just fast forward to Rhea Ripley's match. If she has to react to anything, I just cringe. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but Rhea Ripley, she looks great. She's got a great look. She's figured out a character. But as far as her reactions, though, she acts like a fucking comic or a cartoon character, and I don't know what the fuck. Like, who's telling you this? Like, it just looks so bad. Like, okay, when you react this, it's like almost somebody told her, you got to sell this. So basically, you got to show me a face that the last fucking nosebleed seat can see. And now you stick a fucking camera to her face that's zoomed in, that reflects even the tiniest of reactions, and you're asking her to be something that she is not. She's not this, whatever this is, the way she acts. And it's like it's just so bad that I want to squeeze my eyeballs. No, actually, I don't. But anyway, it's just cringe. But I keep digressing, man. I keep just fucking digressing. Women's wrestling is still fantastic. Men's wrestling is making a big ass comeback, and so women are gonna have to fucking kick it into higher gear. Although you say that the women's War Games match was better than the men's.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got to see it. I've got to see it. So for me, the interesting thing, so this is what, like, I wanted to see the men's War Games. Um, I didn't want to see the women's four games, War Games, because I saw a thumbnail when I was trying to see the highlights. I saw a thumbnail of Io Sky, uh, whatever the fuck they call her now, putting
Yeah, you said it right.
Io Sky. Okay, all right. It's not Io Shirai. Good, Io Sky. There we go. Putting a fucking trash can on her, and I couldn't. I just that to me just is such fucking. It's so bad to me. However, people love it. People pop to that. So it's just me personally. I saw that she fucking just put a trash
Yeah,
can on
I mean,
again. I was like, forget it. I'm fucking out. But then I saw Drew McIntyre come back. Or well, he was no. It was, let's see, who was coming into the ring. Oh, I forgot who was coming into the ring because Cody and Jey Uso were already in the ring. Um, I guess somebody from Judgment Day was coming in, and there was a chair, and there was a kendo stick. Stick was very close to Jay, and the chair was very close to Cody. So they're inviting whoever, I forget who it was. They're inviting them in. Like, come on, come in. And Jay picks up the kendo stick, uh, just to throw it away behind him, and Cody takes the chair and just throws it away from him. They're just inviting this guy in. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I understand their faces, I get it, but like you're grabbing these weapons which you can obviously use, and you're just throwing them away, and that just didn't make any sense to me. But whatever. Once again, I digress. Um, dude, I'm sorry. I kept going, but long story fucking short, at this point, is Triple H is building a fucking monster, and I think he's getting to a point where even the mid card is looking interesting. You know, for
yeah.
fuck's sake,
There's just story like
the
uh,
Intercontinental Championship has has gotten legitimacy back. I don't know about the World Heavyweight Championship. Just the fact they're keeping it as Seth Rollins is, it's like thank God they're keeping it on somebody. You know.
yeah. But, I mean, they've taken it off the focus for the last month because they're getting ready. They were doing ready for Survivor Series, and so there wasn't any. The IC title, man, like, and the way things are shaping, like, this is one thing about this is like the way things are shaping right now, and at least what they look like right now. Like initially, before Punk came back, I was thinking, well, maybe Mania would be Rollins versus Gunther for the title. Like Gunther would somehow either end the like just forfeit and move on kind of thing. Like nobody's worthy, no one's ever going to beat me, so I'm just going to retire as champion and then move up to the next, go to the top where I deserve to be. And this is where, in my opinion, I think they should take the title off. If they're going to go with Rollins and Punk long term, I'm guessing because I mean they're doing more and more long term booking. So if they're going to be doing long term booking with Rollins and Punk, I feel it's best needed to take the title off Rollins because you don't need it to be for the title or anything. Put it on someone else where they can elevate that to a more competitive, more story, an additional storyline that they can do. Um, well, it's like now Punk Bag. It's like if they don't take the title off him, I mean, we could see Gunther having that title for as long as Reigns has had his title. But with the Gunther though, like they're continuing to enhance and evolve Gunther. Like him against the Miz on paper, you're like, that's not like that's just stupid. Like that's not gonna be. That's not. That's like because my mom reacts that way. Like when Miz was going against Gunther, like storyline wise, she's like, he ain't gonna win. Like she just has no belief in the Miz, and but it's like slowly or surely, like he started to fight back, and so like you still don't believe that he's going, but you like they start to make you kind of believe, well, there might be a chance, blah blah. Well, Gunther, him against the Miz, Gunther has taken that next step to where he can work a mic really good because he went head to head against the Miz in a promo battle on the mic, and Gunther won on the mic. He slowly. That's why uh, Kaiser isn't speaking for Gunther anymore. Like Gunther is, he's now added to his repertoire of that he can be on the mic, just like Reigns has done in the last couple of years. Before he couldn't talk on the mic at all. No one was listening or anything. Like Gunther's on that track now of like rounding out Gunther and forming him into a top guy. While at the same time, they've built this like IC title perfectly. And I honestly think that I mean Miz has a legit chance to like I mean again, it was a good match and the storyline backed that up a lot. But also the reason that the Miz is still around and relevant, he also showed why because he is that good of a talent. And yeah, it's just there's just some of the but Triple H is just building like and I was gonna, oh yeah, usually back in the day it used to be like around this time of year we were like this used to be the road to WrestleMania. Like you knew like you could already feel like it was going to be Hogan versus Warrior at WrestleMania, 5, 6 months from now. and they just built it up, and like they're starting to do that. They've been doing it, and it's like with Punk coming back, like he immediately like now you have your two nights. You have a main event for both nights already, and it's not even December. And it's like you have enough storylines to build. You know, like you said, like that mid card to stack that mid card to stack your starting matches. Like they're just I don't know. They're just prepping everything up in such a good way. And it's like it's what they used to do back in the day. Man, it's just an evolved version. And I mean, yeah, Triple H, yeah, he's the man. He's he is the man to be doing this. And
Hmm.
I'm glad it's worked out the way that it has. And it doesn't seem like it's gonna be like there's not. I don't think there's gonna be anything that's gonna get in his way unless it's himself, like health wise or something. I don't know, but like I really don't think like there's a Vince like a worry about Vince getting in the way again and completely just messing things up. Like I think this is like a legit Triple H era of the WWE.
And when was the last time you were excited about
So
what you were excited about a WrestleMania where you can kind of already start things you can start seeing things form and you were like, fuck man, that's gonna be a good match. That's gonna be a good match. I
yeah,
don't even like
uh,
I know that Cody and um the Mr. Tribal Chief, whatever the fuck his name is, I'm drawing a blank now. Wow. Uh, you know
Roman
the
Reigns.
the ramen. That's right, ramen. I was like, anyway, I'm getting tired, man. I'm getting a little tired here. Anyway, ramen Reigns. You know that's gonna be that has to happen at WrestleMania, and it would be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
perfect time for Ramen to drop that title. Then like, I don't know how they're gonna proceed with LA Knight. I'm excited to see LA Knight at WrestleMania. It's gonna be fucking like I know they're gonna see. I have faith that they're gonna have something cool for him at WrestleMania. That's
Yeah,
new. That's very new. Like, yeah, I just remember for the longest time we just kept talking. Especially I kept talking. I'm like, how they're gonna fuck everything up? Like, how they're gonna fuck Bray Wyatt up? How are they gonna fuck? Well, LA Knight they fucked royally, but how are they gonna fuck everything up? And they just, I guess they managed those expectations very well. Um, I am certainly excited to see Seth Rollins and CM Punk. That's being built up really well. So what else am I excited? I'm excited just the whole so the Latino World Order and the whole fissure there. Um, I was kind of excited to see Carlito back, you know. So for me, it's just the fact that Carlito's there. Dominic, come on, man. Dominic's been. You just don't like. He's kind of faded back a little bit for me. Granted, I haven't watched it recently, so I assume. But God, man, does he have heat? He has so much fucking heat, you know.
I think that would be the only reason that that would be the case is just primarily because of Survivor Series because he's in the mix of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso. Like there's just so, I mean the top of the top because this entire pay per view the bloodline was not involved at all, except for Jey Uso, but he's not really bloodline story. Like there was no part of the bloodline that was in this historic pay per view. There's no
That's good. We
Reigns,
need a
no
break.
Solo.
We
Oh
need a
yeah, for
break
sure.
from the bloodline. It'll be exciting when, you'll finally get brother v brother with Jay and Jimmy. That's gonna be great too. I don't know if they're gonna do that at WrestleMania, but I'm looking at like, this whole thing with KO now. I'm looking at Sami Zayn. Like I'm excited. It took 35 minutes for me to say that I'm certainly excited about what Triple H is doing, and I'm excited about the potential of what could be. And this is not even mentioning any women's matches, which,
Right.
considering how Triple H signed CM Punk, I don't know if I hope Sasha Banks still out there, because I wouldn't
Well,
put that past them.
that's a thing too, because there was like 3 or 4 times last night. Like that's a thing too. Is like there's a lot of things Michael Cole was saying last night. It was definitely worth noting that. Well, he just said um, like even with like the Miz, he's an 8-time Intercontinental Champion. If he wins tonight, he will tie Chris Jericho's record. And so, like using Chris Jericho's name, just even that, like then that has nothing to do with the women, but just using his name, Jericho, and being able to say it, like that's a whoa, what? We just said Jericho's name. Um, the mentioning of the four horsewomen, he did that like 2 or 3 times last night. Um, she has not signed with anybody yet, at least
I
that
don't
we
know
know of.
the four
So
horsewomen.
that's still a potential.
Ugh.
Well, that was their
I mean,
that was their whole nickname. You can't be. I mean, you
I
can't
know,
change it. Like that, it's already happened. Right.
I know. I
So
believe me
when you
that great. That they deserve it. Just not.
right,
It
but I'm
just
saying,
sounds
but
awful.
when he mentions last night,
Hmm.
3 of the 4 horsewomen are in the ring right now. Like, and he references 3 of the 4, 3 of the 4, and it's just like, man, like you're really making me think. Like, I mean, but that's a huge possibility that she could come back, and it's like Punk coming back. Like, that's a big thing to happen. Considering, like, I mean, but everyone says everyone always comes back. Brock came back, Warrior came back, Hogan came back, Bruno Sammartino came back. Um, Now Punk came back, so it's like there's a big change going on in this whole WWE itself. So who's to say that?
Well, she signed a. It
Um,
says she signed a long-term deal with New Japan, but doesn't New Japan have a working relationship with WWE? Can we see a little Forbidden Door action in the women's division?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they really have one with them. I mean, I know they. I don't know if they. I mean, AEW has more of a working relationship than WWE does in Japan.
Yeah.
But there's something. I don't know if she's fully signed or whatever long term because there's still talks of her signing with AEW as soon as next year. Um, but that could easily change to where to the eventual turn of if they're going to carry the name or not. But Sky and all them against Bailey. Who doesn't say Sasha Banks shows up and says Bailey?
I see.
Like that's just freaking. That's just. I mean, that's just like a golden. Like that's like serving food on a silver plate right there. Like that's just booking that you don't even have to. That's simple booking for the ages right there. Like because Bailey's done her. That was a huge highlight in that women's match last night. Was Bailey. She was definitely the best. She did everything she could to to win the match, to keep from losing, and she failed. But they had this like exclusive interview with her after. I just saw that today, and she was just very upset, very like just depressed, blah blah blah. And then she mentions like to the whoever was in giving her the interview, um, she's like, "Yeah, I'm upset. We lost. I'm beaten. I'm battered. War Games is just brutal on the body. Yeah, it sucks right now." And then she gets up and she's like, "Let me know if you see any of my teammates." And she's like, she's alone right now. Like, and it's just like, so the immediate, so you know, like the fall of that breakout's gonna happen. But who doesn't say that when she's down at the bottom, she doesn't get help from Sasha Banks all of a sudden at one of these next pay per views coming up, and then they're back together. I mean, that'd be huge. That'd be so huge. This whole Charlotte and Becky making up and like even like legit like off screen amending their friendship that they used to have or whatever. I mean, that's like some sort of like a big deal. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. It's like ain't nothing. Things that like felt like they were set in stone yesterday at this time are not set in stone at all because of one person coming back. CM Punk. It's crazy.
There you go, man.
There we go. There we go. Triple
There you
H,
go.
2 thumbs up. 10 toilet paper rolls.
10 toilet paper rolls. Oh, yeah. Well, check us out. You heard it here last. Check us out at jawbers.com. That is JAWBERS.com. And get yourself a hoodie shirt. Support us. Um, if you're going to buy a CM Punk shirt, might as well buy a Jobber shirt. Because you know you're a jabroni before you're CM Punker. I don't know what the fuck that means. Anyway, jawbers.com.
Love you. Bye.